This ON AM and FM forecast brought to you by Timeless Antiques and Collectibles, 91 Main Street in Woonsocket. Timeless Antiques and Collectibles, 257-5796, 257-5796.
Sunshine today with a high near 63 degrees and a northwest breeze up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies, overnight low of 35. Sunday's weather, sunshine and 54. Monday, sunshine and 53. Tuesday, sunshine and 59. Wednesday, partly sunny skies and 72. Thursday, partly sunny and 76. And next Friday, partly sunny and 69.
And currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we have a lovely 54 degrees. Thank you for joining us live from the cheap seats with Pat and Kevin. I am Pat Holland, and hopefully joining us on the phone is my good partner, Kevin, who's out in Burrillville, who is setting up for the game today at Burrillville High School, Burrillville versus Westerly. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, good morning, Pat. How are you?
I am good.
Oh, good. And calling from the ultimate cheap seat out here in Burrillville. Calling in. So thank you for batting down the hatches today, Pat. Appreciate it.
I don't know why.
Is he?
He was on.
Pat, you can send to a lawsuit.
There it is, Kevin. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yep, I got you. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to start out with some local high school football. Kevin, why don't you go ahead and take it?
Oh, boy, last night in the game heard on WOON, we had number 3 St. Ray's playing number 5 Cumberland. We've talked in the past, we talked during the game how important it is to be in the top 4 to go into the playoff, to get into the Super Bowl playoff. And St. Ray's jumps out to a 7-0 lead on Dino Campo. 15-yard touchdown run on their opening drive. No scoring the rest of the half. Very few penalties. And then midway through the third quarter, Evan Spencer hit Aiden Ray from his own 5-yard line, caught at the 20, and Aiden Ray took it the rest of the way, 80 yards. So to give St. Ray's a 7-6 lead. But here's the important thing. Again, very few penalties in the game, Pat, but on the ensuing extra point, St. Ray's jumps offside. Thus, Cumberland then decides to go for a 2-point conversion. Evan Spencer on the keeper. The 2-point conversion's good. They lead 8-7. That score holds up, and as of 4:30 this morning, Cumberland is now in the 3 spot. St. Ray's drops out of the top 4 spot down to the 5 spot, holding steady at 4 is Central. A game that I was excited to do, and a game that lived up to its hype. Great game, very few penalties, just one real costly penalty on an extra point of all things.
Yeah, that's crazy. For Cumberland, they hold on to the top 4 spot. They're on the road next week against number 7 North Kingstown, which obviously you got to play that game too. With the new RPI system, anything can happen, but. Cumberland looks like they're in good shape right now. Elsewhere, Division II, number 4 Lincoln topped North Providence 44-28 in a huge game with playoff implications. Number 9 Woonsocket traveled to number 8 Coventry and prevailed 21-7. Because of that, Woonsocket moved to number 7 and Coventry dropped down to number 10. Woonsocket travels to number 6 Moses Brown next week. North Smithfield remained at number 6 in Division 4 despite losing to Narragansett 35-7. And then Kevin, you got a game today, right?
Oh yeah, we got Burrillville against Westerly starting at 11. I'm actually calling for the car right now. I'm almost there, hitting a little bit of traffic on the way up to Burrillville High. But yeah, Burrillville at 11 o'clock. Takes on the number 3 team in Division 2, Westerly. This it's a 1 versus 2 game, Division 1 versus Division 2. Pat, this should be a real good game. Fortunate enough to call Westerly earlier this year against Woonsocket. They are a strong team, and if Burrillville wants to host a playoff game, a play-in playoff game, it's imperative for them to get into that 7-8 seed. to host a 7-9 or a 7-10 or an 8-9 game. So this should be a real good one. And we also will have Barville next week as well as they host number 4 Central. So there's a lot of maneuvering still happening in the RPI standings as we get down to the final. This is the second to last week, with next week being the last week.
Yeah, and that's a big game, obviously, for Central too. Sitting at number 4, they're probably in a must-win out situation to stay in. So
it's the Rays will be hoping for Central to lose right now.
Yeah, over to college football. URI currently ranked 15th now in the FCS poll after going up to UNH last week and winning in a place they have not won since 1995 with a big win, 26-9. They are home hosting Maine at 1 o'clock today. 2-5 Bryant, losers to Monmouth, 55-17 last week. They host number 18 ranked Richmond Spiders today at 12 at Barron Stadium on the campus of Bryant University. And Brown, losers of 3 in a row, hope to turn things around today as they host Cornell at 12. And we had some college hockey, Kevin.
Yeah, it's Providence College last night up in Vermont with their first Hockey East game of the year. And in overtime, I think it was like a minute and a half into overtime, scores and beats Vermont 3-2 last night. Big win. Vermont hasn't won a game yet, but Big East in basketball, division games, Hockey East, strong conference. Anytime you can grab an early Hockey East win, great opportunity for Providence College, and they play them again today, I believe, at 6 o'clock up in Vermont. So if they can pull off the sweep, that would be great for Providence College hockey.
Yeah, and that was Nick Poisson with the goal, a minute and 29 into overtime. Some of the other college hockey that was last night, number 15, UMass, tied with UConn in overtime. Number 6, Maine, coming off of 2 big wins last week against Quinnipiac. They knocked off Northeastern 4-1. Quinnipiac bounced back with an 8-2 win over UNH. And number 3, BU, went on the road against North Dakota, and they dropped a game 7-2. Providence Bruins returned to action last night at the Amp with a tough 2-1 loss to the Hershey Bears, despite outshooting them 39-28. Tyler Pitlick with a goal for the P Bruins, while Michael DiPietro stopped 26 of 28. Mike Vecchione had 2 assists for the Hershey Bears. He's a local kid, grew up in Saugus, played his high school hockey at Malden Catholic and 4 years at Union. He had 2 assists for Hershey last night. He is a 9-year AHL veteran, 2-time Calder trophy winner. So I believe they're back in action today as well. And then Rhode Island FC, back in action tonight. They currently have the 5th seed locked down. They play tonight at 8 over at Barron Stadium against Miami, who's the last place team. So, looking to get 3 points out of that. They can still finish as low as 8 or as high as 4, depending on the outcome of other matches. 5 teams are still fighting for the last 2 playoff spots. The playoffs do begin next weekend, with the championships taking place between November 21st and 25th. I think that is all I have for local sports.
Boston College.
Oh, yes. Go ahead.
Oh, my gosh.
BC.
Yeah, no, it's I had kind of forgot that they were on, and then all of a sudden I hear last night that they were up 20-0, and then they blow a 20-0 lead, and they lost 31-27, I think. They were 23-10 late. I mean, help me out with this one, Pat.
Yeah, 32-27 final. They were up 27-10 at one point. Louisville did battle back to win that game. So that drops BC to 4-4 in the season, which, they got off to a very fast start. They got to turn things around now. They do play Syracuse next week, so that they got to look to bounce back there. Louisville is a good team. I was kind of surprised to see that BC was up and playing well, by all accounts, but just couldn't hold on to it. Castellanos was 13 for 28, 164 yards with 3 touchdowns. I believe he also ran for about another 60. So just another tough loss for BC.
13 for 28?
13 for 28, wow. 164 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I hate to see that under 50%. Again, I did not see the game. By the time I got home, I was excited to watch the World Series, and to be honest with you, completely forgot that they were on last night. such a tough loss. Started off so promising at 4-1, looking at, quote unquote, a legitimate bowl game. Had a good chance to turn things around last night against a good Louisville team at home, and that would hurt. To blow a big lead like that, again, not seeing the game, but 13 for 28, not exactly impressive numbers for Castellanos.
No, not at all. So they got to look to bounce back. Another local, and we can cover this a little bit later too, but another local, pretty cool story. Again, the Celtics started up their season Tuesday night with the banner going to the rafters. Tyler Kolek, who's a Cumberland native, who was drafted by Sacramento and then traded to the New York Knicks, made his NBA debut in a pretty cool story there. He did get in the game, although the Knicks lost the game by quite a bit. He did make his first NBA shot, which was a three-point shot, and I know his family was on hand to see that. So just a kind of cool story to see and hear, especially from a local kid in Rhode Island and local to this area.
Yeah, local boy done good, and by all accounts, a legit player and with a bright NBA future in front of him, which is great. You love to see that. He had a great college career, and now in the big market of New York, you don't get much bigger than a New York market, and fantastic to see his parents on hand to see his first NBA game, and I think he hit his very first shot. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a three-point shot.
You're right. And how important is the three-point shot in the NBA right now, right? After what the Celtics are doing.
All right, Kevin, why don't we take our first break? When we get back, we'll go right to the World Series.
Oh yeah.
We'll let you get let you get to Burrowville and hopefully get settled in, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Sounds
OM 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are...
What does it mean to be owned by your customers? It means we don't answer to a headquarters in New York or a board of directors in Switzerland. It means we answer to a teacher in Woonsocket, a small business owner in Greenville, a contractor in Warwick. Our customers are our owners. Our owners are our customers. Come join us. Navigate Credit Union.
Bad accidents happen to good people. John Brian of the Brian Law Group can help if you've been injured in an accident. The Brian Law Group handles personal injury cases on a contingent fee basis. You do not pay anything unless they secure money for you through a jury award or insurance settlement. When choosing a lawyer, go with someone you know, someone local. Choose John Brian of the Brian Law Group. Call 401-597-5565. 597-5565. Sam and Tina at Ollie's Pizzeria are so grateful for all the customers who voted them gold for best pizza in ON Radio's Best of the Blackstone Valley. Ollie's Pizzeria, where quality ingredients, expert craftsmanship, and a cozy ambiance come together to redefine your pizza cravings. Order online at olliespizzeria.com. Ollie's Pizzeria, 204 South Main Street, Woonsocket, on the corner of Front Street and South Main. Ollie's Pizzeria, one of the best of the Blackstone Valley.
Hi folks, this is Tom Marshall, founder of Marshall Building and Remodeling. You know, when it comes to choosing a roofing, siding, or window company for your home, you need to protect yourself from inexperience, unfair prices, and shoddy work. The best way to do that is to call Marshall. We'll give you honest advice and a fair price. Then you decide. With Marshall, there's no money down, great warranties, and the best work and service available, period. Make your home beautiful with Marshall. Visit us at marshallbr.com, and remember, we are your local roofing, siding, and window people.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasca Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Envista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasca Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TascaBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasca Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
ON, AM, and FM.
All right, welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Just a reminder, our phone lines are open, 401-766-1240. We're going to pivot and get into the World Series. Game 1 last night, which by all accounts, everyone's calling an instant classic. Kevin, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. It was one of those games that I wanted to go to bed after the ninth inning, and I couldn't. The game just drew me in. Right from the beginning, by the time I got settled in, I started watching it in the second inning. The Dodgers are up 1-0. Stanton hits one of the longest home runs I've ever seen for the Yankees. They go up 2-1. Another sac fly later makes it 2-2. We're going into extras. Ben left on base all over the place. Great plays in the field, keeping singles, keeping the ball in the infield, holding a runner, Jazz Chisholm, to third base, not letting him score. Yankees take a lead, 3-2. A guy trips around second base, doesn't take third, would have scored on a Shohei Ohtani. Would have been a sacrifice fly as Verdugo falls into the stands, catching the ball. They advance the runners. They do an intentional walk into Freddie Freeman on the first pitch against the reliever and hits a moonshot, walk-off grand slam. And Freeman, for those that don't know, has an ankle injury. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's too far to say he's this generation's Kirk Gibson, possibly.
Right.
It had everything for Game 1. If the rest of the series can live up to it, I mean, not that I'm rooting for the Yankees to win any game, but if this series could go 6 or 7 with games like last night, and you're putting baseball back on the map like the '75 World Series did.
Yeah, I mean, both teams had, I guess what you would consider their aces on the mound, right? Garrett Cole for the Yankees, he went 6, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. Flaherty went for the Dodgers, 5 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 6 Ks, 1 walk. He did give up that one, obviously, Stanton bomb. But, I didn't watch the game until I kind of tuned in late. Really the ninth inning. So I kind of saw the extra inning there, but yeah, everything you could imagine was thrown into this game. I mean, the Yankees, by all accounts, should have won this game. They left 11 men on base. Right. Which I guess it is what it is. But as much as we want to harp on Cora, right? How about Aaron Boone? I mean, can this guy manage big games or not? I mean, how do you go with Nestor Cortez hasn't pitched in a month,
right? And
you bring him in to face Freeman,
right? And we're not talking the 15th inning here, where you're down to your last guy that you don't want to play. We're in the 10th inning. You should still be at the front end of your bullpen.
Yeah.
Quality reliever time here in the 10th inning, especially with starters maybe going, into the 6th inning. All pitching up until the very, very end was good last night, but.
And I'm assuming everyone's available, right? It's Game 1 of the World Series. How about right. If you want to go the lefty matchup? How about Tim Hill? The guy's pitched great. You're going to go at Nestor Cortez, who hasn't pitched since September 18th. As far as I'm concerned, you get what you pay for.
His arm was fresh.
And Aaron
he only threw 1 pitch.
Yeah, but he hasn't thrown live. He hasn't thrown live pitching in a month. So,
and then I was joking. Yeah.
A lot of other people are questioning the fact. I mean, I guess I didn't see the scenario where he pitch ran for Torres, who's their normal second baseman. A lot of people are saying if Torres is in that game, he gets to that ground ball that Cabrera couldn't get to. Who knows? I mean, you can hindsight everything, but
that was a heck of an effort. The ball did, it tipped off his glove while he was diving for the ball on a single up the middle. What made the play more remarkable is as the runner saw the ball trickle away into short center field, he was attempting to go to third, but he tripped and he was lucky to get back to second base on that. So I mean, it's tough to say. He made a tremendous play. To get to the ball, to say that somebody else would have caught the ball. Whenever I see somebody lay out for a ball, I hesitate to say that somebody else would have made the play. as I'm assuming the positioning would have been exactly the same. I don't know what kind of jump he got off, on the ball off the bat. That I hesitate to go there. Maybe he would have made the play. I don't know, obviously, but But yeah, it was Aaron Boone is. I got some friends that are diehard Yankee fans, and they wanted him gone 2 or 3 years ago.
Exactly. I believe I saw that Freeman. This is the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history.
I was wondering that, and I automatically thought of Joe Carter with a walk-off, for Toronto, but that wasn't a grand slam.
Right.
I mean, just how many walk-off? Fifth thing in '75, also not a grand slam, a solo shot. Trying to think back to some famous home runs. Gibson's home run, not a grand slam. It just doesn't happen that often. Trying to think back. I only go back to the '70s. So there's another 100 years, another 70 years behind that. But I don't recall any walk-off grand slams. So I'm not surprised to hear that that's the first one. And an intentional walk too to get to Freddie Freeman, which I don't blame that. I mean, you no problem loading the bases there because it gives you a force out everywhere.
Right.
Freeman, who had legged out a triple earlier in the game, has a bad ankle. He is hurt.
Yeah.
So it's not the worst thing in the world, but
two for five with a triple, a home run, 4 RBIs. Not bad for a game 1 of the World Series. Another whatever bat, ball, whatever they're going to send to the Hall of Fame, which I think he already has something that was sent earlier this year. I thought I read, but they're right back at it tonight, right at 8 o'clock. In LA, they have Yankees have Rodon and Dodgers have Yamamoto taking the mound, so they got to jump right back in it. Hopefully, New York can kind of put that behind them. It's a tough way to go out, but that's why you play a best of 7.
Yeah, in the 2-3-2 format, which I'm not a fan of, except in this case. Of first 2 in LA, only 1 day off. 3 in New York, assuming it goes 7. 1 day off, and then the last 2 are in Los Angeles. Everything's back to back, so there's only 2 days off between yesterday and the end of the series. Unlike the NBA, we'll take 3 days off between game 1 and 2 sometimes.
Right.
So it's it took a little while to get going. They had set the schedule earlier, and both league championship series ended. In 5 and 6 games, so that's why there was a little bit of a break between Monday and Friday to start the World Series. But now that it started, every game's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I honestly think maybe I'm overstating it, maybe too passionate about it, but with the TV ratings are as high as they've been since 2017. So in 7 years, they're the highest TV ratings they've had. With the new rules, which I'm honest with you, Pat, I was against the rules at first with the shot clock and the pitch clock and the bigger bases and things like that. I'm telling you, last night's game was after 9 innings, right at the 3-hour mark. I'm okay with that. Regular season games are going 240. I think baseball's got a real chance now to get right back in the limelight. And get the younger audience back in. You've got 5 former MVPs in the World Series, and you got the New York LA market.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, and they touched upon that last night. I mean, who are the 5 MVPs? You mentioned it this morning earlier when I saw you too. You got Judge, Stanton. Yep. Freeman,
Shohei,
and Betts,
and Mookie Betts.
Yeah. So
and
3.
You got the former Red Sox connection. You got Kike Hernandez. You got Mookie Betts on one side. You got Verdugo on the other side. I mean, from a Boston point of view, with the Sox not being in it, but just as a baseball fan, you got there's so much in there.
Yeah, and then we mentioned this midweek. There is one player who's guaranteed a ring, who's not on either roster. Do you remember his name?
You?
It's
I do actually.
Yeah.
Tyler Trammell.
Tyler Trammell. He was on the Dodgers in April. They released him. He had what, 5 at bats?
He had 6 at bats at the Dodgers, 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts.
Picked up by the Yankees.
He went 1 for 1 with the Yankees with a single.
And then that was it. And he's not on their 40-man roster, but I think as long as he was at one point, he's guaranteed a World Series ring. So
guaranteed a ring. He was on the main
and a playoff share.
Yeah.
Now I wonder if he gets a playoff share from both teams. Be interesting.
How sweet is that?
I'm sure his agent wants to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
27 years old. He's on the Yankees. Not 40-man roster, but he's still
the minor
Yankee
leagues. Yep.
property, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
He's in their minor league system. I don't know if he's AAA, AA, or where he ended up on the year. Yeah, not on the 40-man roster, but still under contract. How's that? Under contract.
Under contract.
With the New York Yankees. And no matter what happens, he gets a ring.
Right.
What a deal.
So
Tyler Trammell, great answer to a trivia question right now.
Right, yeah. Before we take our next break, so Kevin, I think those of people out there listening, Kevin and I do a podcast on Wednesday nights, the same title,
Yep.
The Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. We're gonna do a deep dive into the recently released Netflix documentary, right? The comeback, the 2004 Red Sox. This coming Wednesday, which should be pretty cool. I just started watching the series myself, so which is, if you haven't seen it yet, and you're a Red Sox or even a baseball fan in general, you got to take a check. It's 3 episodes, pretty informative, and from what I understand, the Yankees declined to be involved in that. They were asked, and the Yankees declined. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just read up on that yesterday. I saw something where it said the Yankees were asked, and they did decline to be involved.
What's interesting, though, is Joe Torre has been interviewed. However, he's, special counsel to MLB
Yeah,
now.
and I think Cashman was on it, right?
Cashman was on it, though not interviewed, but I definitely saw some,
Some
with
clips.
him on it. I watched the first 2. I'm going to watch the third one.
Yep.
My understanding is the Sox still win the 04 series, but don't spoil it for me, Pat.
Okay, I won't. So, all right. So when we get back, we'll touch upon the Patriots Jets, or at least we'll give a little bit of a highlight from the Jacksonville game, and then we'll preview the Patriots Jets tomorrow. So we'll be right back.
Pat, really quick.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers is now with his 3 injuries, he's now a trainer to add to his player, coach, and GM role.
This is true. All right, we'll be back after we hear from our sponsors.
OM 1240.
The last thing you need is more stress. So at Misho's Auto Body, they handle the complete claim for you. Check their website to see the 13 actual steps they take to make your experience stress-free. You'll also see a complete photo gallery showing you the detailed and technical process necessary to accommodate new car construction and metallic paints. Misho's Auto Body, 430 Privilege Street, Woonsocket, 769-1983.
Woonsocket Door Sales can handle all types of projects, from the simpler residential installations to the more complex commercial projects. They install, service, and repair. Garage doors are also an important facet of home and business security, since garages contain some of your valuable items like vehicles, tools, and small equipment. Visit their website at woonsocketdoorsales.com and see a gallery of designs and styles, as well as testimonials from their satisfied customers from many surrounding towns. Woonsocket Door Sales, 1 Biltmore Avenue, Cumberland, 767-3448. Their reputation for sales and service is ironclad, just like their doors. Woonsocket Door Sales, 767-3448.
When you're ill and need same-day care, remember North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care for affordable and accessible care. You'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who will assess the problem and make you feel safe and reassured. Check their websites for convenient patient and medical forms, which you may fill out before the visit. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, 768-3400. And Lincoln Urgent Care, 2 Wake Robin Road, Lincoln, 333-9595.
State Line Service and Tire Center services all vehicles, including late model cars and light trucks. Your late model vehicle is a highly sophisticated piece of equipment featuring a network of sensors and switches that monitor engine performance and efficiency. When a problem arises, it's important for your technician to know if your check engine light warning is a real problem or just a sensor computer issue. So be safe and be sure. Don, Kevin, and Sean believe in communicating and explaining. State Line Service and Tire Center, 1209 Social Street, Woonsocket, at the State Line.
Looking to beautify your property this fall? Look to A.J. Moran for stonework patios, steps, walkways, plus retaining walls. Looking to beautify your home this fall? A.J. Moran can put veneer stone right on your house to have beautiful looking stone. And if that's not what you want, A.J. Moran can rebuild indoor fireplaces with veneer stone. It's real natural stone. Check out what they can do online, ajmoraninc.com. A.J. Moran.
Southeastern Massachusetts' premier baseball and softball facility is Triborough Diamond Sports Academy, located at 445 East Washington Street, conveniently off of Route 1 in North Attleboro. Whether you're looking to put in some individual work in or out of season, or looking for an indoor home for your team during the fall and winter seasons, DSA has you covered. Come to DSA for personalized and group instruction, batting tunnel and pitching mound rentals, team facility rentals, camps, captain's practices, and so much more. Contact Triborough Diamond Sports Academy at 508-316-1702 or via the web at triboroughDSA.com.
And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. We're going to pivot into some of the Patriots. So, Kevin, you still there?
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Just wanted to check to make sure you're still breathing.
moving the cheap seats all around the state of Rhode Island this morning.
Yes, where we're at, yes. So Patriots go over to London at 1-5, playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were also 1-5. They came out of the gate looking actually fairly well at the end of the first quarter. I think I mentioned this to you. I posted a video saying I'm intrigued here. Drake May looks good. They're moving the ball. They go up 7-0. Tale of two quarters. The second quarter starts, and they look as bad as they've looked all season, and never kind of came back out of it. Now, although Drake May played fairly well, 26 of 37, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns. The defense just couldn't make a play. They couldn't, and they couldn't get off the field. That's ultimately what ended up happening. So they lose that game 32-16 to Jacksonville, dropping to 1-6. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. Where do we go from here? I mean, at this point, can we get to 3 wins? I don't know. We got the Jets coming in tomorrow, who they're 2-5. Although I think they have a little bit more talent on both sides of the ball, but the wide receiver room seems to be a mess. There were issues over in London with potential curfew issues, and so what do we do?
I heard some of the talking heads saying they're getting IVs on the sideline. It wasn't 110 degrees in London. One of the reasons for getting IVs, if all of our listeners and without passing judgment, can think back to maybe some of their college days, and maybe the next morning a little dehydrated after the previous evening's activities.
Oh yeah, I sold some red Solo cups.
Exactly, and I love that statement. The wide receiver room. Who are these wide receivers? Stanley Morgan in there, Jerry Rice, Julian Edelman. Who are the wide receivers? I mean, what have they accomplished to be spouting their mouths off? I think the guy from Burrville just took a header punting a ball. Sorry, I'm popping there. ADHD radio. It looks like not even a player. It looks like maybe one of the coaches or something.
You're working on the play-by-play already. We like it.
Yeah, I'm working. You just don't always see a punter fall down. I think it was one of the coaches. Sorry. It's pretty funny. Everyone's laughing at him right now.
So yeah, I mean, there seems to be some issues going on. It looks like they had maybe several team meetings this week to kind of go over some stuff. You have Polk coming out, he had the best hands and this and that. He drops 3 balls, falls on a 2-point conversion play. Evidently, he has a concussion, so he's out tomorrow. And I don't think that's something they're just saying. I think he definitely legitimately got hit. He did take a pretty hard hit in that game, but needless to say, if you're going to come out and run your mouth about having the best hands in the NFL, then you have to put your you have to kind of you have to hold yourself accountable to it, and he's certainly not. And you have Osborne, making cryptic, after he caught a touchdown, and then tweeting, and this, that, and the other thing. So I mean, listen, you're 1-6. No, I mean, nobody should be saying anything other than like we got to get better. And again, I think that comes from the top down. Mayo has to, and I think he tried to hold them accountable. And then there was, oh, you can't do this, calling them out for being soft. You can't call your team out. It's like, well, you got to do something. And I'm sure, and I think Drake May even said it. He's like, he didn't say something that he didn't say to us in the locker room.
Right.
It's one thing if he didn't say that in the locker room and he came out in front of the media and said it, but he's calling everybody out. So.
I think when he tried to backtrack his comments, I think that's when he said the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can call your team soft. And these are ex-NFL players saying this. You can't just call your team soft. But what you can say is, we played soft today. But you can't call your team soft, especially a few weeks ago. He said, we're playing hard after the Miami loss. And here we are 3 weeks later, and he's saying, we're soft. And I know he tried to backtrack it, but and again, I don't disagree with him. I think and the other thing he missed out on, and this was Belichick always just kind of giving it lip service. We need to coach better. We need to play better. Mayo needs to put a little bit on himself, like, hey, we're soft, but I also need to coach better. And Van Pelt and whoever the defensive coordinator is need to coach better, and all around, all facets of the ball. We need to coach better, we need to play better, and we can't play soft. So I think a lot of people want to see more accountability out of Gerard Mayo for his either preparation, because when you look at it, it looked like they prepped the first 15 plays very well all week, and sure enough, the Patriots had a 10-0 lead. And then they had no answer for the rest of the game until late.
When they opened up the offense a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they let Drake start to throw downfield. So, yeah, I agree with you 100%. And obviously everyone is saying I don't think Van Pelt is long for the job here. I think he's a placeholder. Is that a mistake? I think they probably, but nobody wanted to come here. Now, will anyone want to come here next year? I don't know, but Van Pelt, they got to move on from him. He just doesn't seem to have it. We talked about this again. I had posted a picture with 9:42 left in the third quarter. We were averaging 5.5 yards per pass and 2.7 yards per rush to Jacksonville's 11.1 yards per pass and 4.8 yards per rush. Now, their yards per rush went up to like 5.5 at one point because they were just running the ball down. They were in 16 straight runs. And then I think it ended up coming back down below 4, but that also includes them taking several kneels at the end of the game, and really just, running the ball for no yardage, just to run the clock out.
And what was their time of possession? Patriots couldn't get them off the field. Was it 10 consecutive minutes? I think it was.
Yeah, they at the end of the game, it ended up being 33 minutes to 26 minutes, but it was lopsided for the better part of the second and third quarter.
They ran 18 consecutive running plays. That's what it was. It wasn't a time, which ate up a lot of time, but it was 18 consecutive running plays. Basically right up the middle. And I think this is what's frustrating us fans is like when they beat Cincinnati 16-10 at the beginning of the year, game 1. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of fans said, "Oh, okay, that's a great win." I know I was excited, but I think a lot of fans expected 16-10 losses. So when you go and score, what they got 16 points last week, and you look and you see that they gave up 32, and now you wonder the strength going in was supposed to be the defense, and the offense was going to be the work in progress. Hopefully they'll develop, but the defense cannot get worse. If anything, they should get better, and they've gotten worse, and that's the frustrating part. I mean, who's doing well on the team? Drake May's done well in 2 games. That's fine.
Yeah,
but who else has done well? I really can't think of anybody besides the field goal kicker and the punter.
Yeah, and that's so ultimately, they have the Jets tomorrow. Aaron Rodgers comes in. It's his team now. He's making all the calls. Supposedly, he has 3 or 4 injuries, but he says they haven't affected his throwing. So, by all accounts, he's going to play. They're 7-point favorites. They didn't look great against the Steelers last week. So, but the defense. For us, it needs to start with the defense. They need to make plays. They need to stop. Get stops. Get off the field. Let the offense that continues to seem to be starting to come around. Have more possessions, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Jets in terms of Hassan Reddick is signed, and evidently he's going to make his debut off the edge. So we'll see how that goes, and then see if they can get Devontae Adams involved. He had 3 catches for 30 yards against Pittsburgh. So I think he's the first
Devontae
player.
Adams has a little footnote in history. He lost to Pittsburgh and then lost to Pittsburgh the next week with a
different team. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. So, yeah.
This game's interesting from a couple point of views as well. You got the Jets coming in, always a bit of a rivalry. You want to beat the Jets. You lost to the Jets already. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, I think this is the first time the Patriots are playing an opponent for the second time this year.
Correct.
So, what adjustments will the Patriots make to, Aaron Rodgers looked mobile the first time they played each other on that Thursday night game. What adjustments are they going to make? Now, this is another great test for the coaching staff to see if they can, what are they going to do differently against the Jets this time that they did not do the first time.
True. Yeah, that's true. It'll be interesting to see how they, and that comes down to, Van Pelt. Can he make any adjustments at this point?
Right.
Hopefully Rashonde Stevenson is a little bit healthier. I mean, he was definitely hurt last week and played, and I think that was one of the biggest criticisms of Mayo, saying how can you come out and say these guys are soft when you got a guy who clearly was injured and played for you.
Right.
But then on the defensive end, and we had touched upon this. Covington's on the hot seat. And we don't know or not, but did they kick the tires on Salah? Coming in as some sort of defensive coach, assistant to the defensive coordinator, whatever it is. Which evidently now he had taken some sort of role out in Green Bay. But it would have been interesting to see if they kicked the tires on that, or even to bring in of Vrabel or someone like that. Now, I think the move would be if they moved away from Mayo, they would go to a Vrabel, someone who's done it.
And Vrabel,
at that level,
track record now.
And he has and he ran the defensive side of things. Was really a true coordinator, which Mayo really wasn't. All right. We're up against it. We're going to take our final break, and when we get back, we'll touch base on the Celtics and the Bruins. So we'll be back after this.
ON 1240.
The latest Buick and GMC models are available at Tasker Buick GMC in Woonsocket. Buick Encore, Envision, Enclave, and Invista are on the lot waiting for you to take one for a test drive. New GMC crossovers, SUVs, as well as trucks and vans are also available. Thinking of a pre-owned vehicle? Tasker Buick GMC has more than 900 in stock, many under $15,000. Visit online, TaskerBuickGMC.com, or stop into 55 Fortin Drive, Woonsocket. Tasker Buick GMC, you will be satisfied.
At North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care, you'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who'll diagnose your minor illness or injury. Their services include treatment for flu, fractures, rashes, ITU infections, and work-related injuries, plus physicals, vaccinations, and drug screening. North Smithfield Urgent Care, Great Road, North Smithfield, and Lincoln Urgent Care, Wake Robin Road, Lincoln. X-ray and lab on premises.
Kitchen trends for 2024 want to make your cooking space feel more special. From textured tiles to rounded stone islands to porcelain countertops, Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center can show you these and more. Visit CumberlandKitchen.com or stop in and see Kevin and his team at their showroom in the McDonald's Plaza on Mendon Road, Cumberland, right off Route 295. Turning a house into a home, your home, Cumberland Kitchen and Bath Design Center.
When you have an emergency leak, or maybe even worse, a fire, remember this name, 24 Restore. Say it again, 24 Restore. You may not need them today, or next week, or even a month from now, but at some point when you do, it's got to be 24 Restore. 24 Restore is the leading full-service restoration partner for commercial and residential properties throughout New England. When you need water mitigation, fire restoration, or even mold remediation, 24 Restore is your one-stop shop for all of your restoration needs. They'll handle it all seamlessly with your insurance company, so you don't have to worry. So remember, 24 Restore New England, they're there when you need them, 24/7, 365 days a year, at 1-855-280-3060, or via the web at 24restorene.com.
The world-class distributor of all things electrical is Electrical Wholesalers. They are a full-service electrical distributor with branches throughout Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Locally, they're at 113 Clinton Street next to KFC here in Woonsocket, with other locations in Cranston and Franklin, Massachusetts. Electrical Wholesalers provides the highest quality service to electrical contractors as well as residential, commercial, and industrial customers. Electrical Wholesalers is open Monday through Friday, 7 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. Visit ew-ne.com. Electrical Wholesalers. If you're celebrating a major event, regardless of the reason, Michael's Meats of Cumberland can elevate your next meal from ordinary to extraordinary with meats so good your guests will ask you where you got them. Tell them Michael's Meats. Michael's Meats is in the Walgreens parking lot on Mendon Road in Cumberland, just north of the Ciabro Plaza. They're open Monday through Saturday at 9 a.m., making your next meal truly special. Here's this week's specials at Michael's Meats.
And this week's specials at Michael's Meats, Michael's all-white meat chicken salad, $5.77 a pound. And welcome back to the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Kevin, you still there?
Patrick, I'm still here. We're going strong here from Butterville.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so Celtics start up their season this past Tuesday against the New York Knicks, raising banner number 18 to the rafters. A great game. I mean, they're just, they're going to be exciting to watch. They win that game. I mean, they were up by, at one point they were up by 30-something points. I think they ended up winning by 22.
And same thing the other night. They were it was a close game, like 36-36, something like that, 39-36.
Yep.
Next thing I know, I look up, it's like 59-36. Then all of a sudden they hit their threes, and next thing you know, they're up by 20.
Yeah, 132-109 final against the Knicks. Tatum went for 37. Brown had 7 rebounds. Tatum had 10 assists. And then against Washington on Thursday, 122-102. Brown had 27, Tatum 11 rebounds, Tatum 6 assists. Obviously, we had mentioned this a little bit during the preseason, at least the first couple of games, where they were just basically launching threes.
Right.
I mean, they're averaging 53 3-point attempts a game right now through 2 games, and they're shooting about 44%. That's going to win most nights.
Right. That's absurd numbers. I don't know what the records are, for 3-point shooting percentage, but anything in the 40s is just absolutely fantastic.
But for taking that many. With that many attempts. So, and I think I said to
you,
you,
not 2 for 5.
At one point,
for 50.
I was watching with my wife, which doesn't happen often. She very rarely does she watch sports with me, but she was watching and she was kind of laughing. She's like, "This is kind of crazy." I said, "Yeah." At one point, I looked up and they were like 1 or 2 3-point shots away from outscoring the Knicks totally just by threes.
Wow!
And that was later in the game.
That.
And now this is a game that they tied the record for most hit, which I think was 28.
29, I think.
29.
The record. They hit 28.
And they had
they
9. They had 9 minutes to hit one more.
Yeah.
And they were going for it because they took 13 more after that. I mean, even the crowd was chanting one more three, and it was just bombs away. But they ultimately couldn't hit one. So maybe that was the
13 on their final 13 threes.
Yeah, maybe that was the NBA karma god saying, "Hey, all right, slow it down." But by all accounts, that's their MO is going to be, we're going to beat you, or we're going to make you stop us from the 3, and hopefully, when a team does, they can pivot and make an adjustment, which, obviously they have the players that can. Tatum can beat you off the dribble. Porzingis will be back hopefully December. Then you got a big man down low that you can feed the ball to. So maybe this is just a kind of a bridge till we get Porzingis back, and then we can kind of reevaluate. But hey, if it's working,
right,
go with it. I don't know if they can shoot 40, 44, 45%, taking 50 plus threes a game consistently, but it seems to be working right now. It is very clear that Tatum and Brown have a chip on their shoulder.
Right, and I didn't know if that was if that was just a media made up thing or if that's real. Apparently, it is real, and that's great.
Yeah.
You don't have to fabricate a chip on the shoulder like Tom Brady and the Patriots did, like Michael Jordan did. I understand. Right now, the only thing, I like to overstate things, Pat, as you know. The only thing that can beat the Celtics is themselves or apathy. I don't see another team beating them right now. They legitimately could get near that 70 win mark this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're that good, and you got Porzingis coming back. So they got 6 solid players right now. When you think of Peyton Pritchard, and then you got Porzingis coming back, plus the rest of the team. The starting 5 is great. Almost all Olympians, as we know, with the exception of Jaylen Brown. I think the only thing that can stop them is themselves.
Yeah, or the typical playing down to the level of your opponent, right? If they can put the blinders on and just play the way they can play night in and night out, and don't worry about like, hey, we got Atlanta or we got Charlotte tonight. I'm trying to look for the next big game. They're at Detroit tonight at 7, and then they got Milwaukee at home on Monday night. So that will be obviously a big test. A game that they should be up for, but they can't be down for these other teams. Like they can't be like, we got Detroit, we're going to take the night off. I'd love to see them just go out there and blow the doors off teams every night because they have that much, really that much talent. I mean, even, I think I heard an interview with Jason Tatum and they were talking about like, well, who got better this summer? Who's, blah, blah, blah. And he basically was Peyton Pritchard, hands down, is a different player than he was last year. And he didn't look great in the first game. He did lead them in scoring in the preseason and led the NBA in the preseason in scoring. I believe it was scoring. But I think he did have 15 versus Washington on Thursday night, and he was like 5 for 10 from 3. He actually had a 3-quarter court shot that he hit that they basically waved off. I didn't see the replay, so I don't know if it really should have counted or not, but I heard that it should have counted, but they waved it off. But
It,
so
it was tough to tell on the replay. Obviously, it went in like, oh my gosh, Peyton Pritchard did it again. It's like he's just a half the three-quarter court guy. It's incredible. That's what he does with that.
And I mean, it's not like, I mean, he has at least 7 or 8 of those now, half court.
Yeah.
You know, and he can shoot the ball from anywhere. So they're exciting to
Literally.
watch. These guys clearly. Brown, Tatum. I think Tatum. You go over to play for your country, and you have, and I take nothing away from Holiday and nothing away from D. White.
Right.
But those guys played regular minutes over there. He barely sniffed the court, which is just unbelievable.
Someone pointed out to me the other day that Steve Kerr, in Game 1 this year, got all 12 of his players into Game 1 this year in the NBA. Something he couldn't do in the Olympics, but he could do with his team.
Yeah. And he, that'll be interesting to see. They see Golden State on November 6th, so it'll be interesting to see what happens that night. But these guys are, I think Tatum's averaging 31, Brown's averaging 28. Tatum's going to probably average a double-double all season.
Right.
All right, let's go over to the Bruins quickly. We got a couple minutes left here. So Bruins off to just a horrendous start right now. They dropped another game to Dallas the other night, 5-2. They continue to take penalties, just bad penalties. I basically, here's what I draw her to. Their first line, they have more penalty minutes than they have points.
Yes.
This is Marchand, Pasternak, and Lindholm. 15 points total combined in 26 penalty minutes. That's a problem.
Right.
Dallas, they take a bunch of penalties. They give up 3 power play goals. Dallas is 3 for 5 on the power play. They lose 5-2. Bruins 17th in penalty kill, 77.5. So you got to stay out of the box if you're going to be ranked out low.
The other thing, not only do you have to stay out of the box, but the Bruins always known for like 2 things: is their grit and their hustle, but also their penalty kill has always been top of the league. So now you've got all the dumb penalties, but now you're not killing it off either. And then you got a Dallas team. Dallas is legit. They're going to be in there for the Western Conference at the end. So you can't be taking dumb penalties against Dallas. And to be fair, Dallas was 3 for 4 on the power play before not converting on their last one.
Right.
3 for 4 on the power play. You only score 2 goals. The top line's not scoring. Pasternak's got 5 goals, but he doesn't have a multi-point game this year. Marchand hasn't scored a goal yet. Now Coyle's got 1, and this is just off the top of my head. 1 goal, 1 short-handed goal. The plus minuses are ridiculously bad, with the exception of the 4th line. I never thought I'd say this. Without the 4th line, the Bruins might be 0-8 right now.
Yeah, and the problem is that those guys they're not going to keep up the pace that they're on. So you have to get other production.
They only play 10 or 11 minutes a game anyway. The Pasternaks of the world are your 17 to 20 minute guys. Your 4th line are your 9 to 12 minute guys.
Yeah.
So they shouldn't be expected to carry that scoring. They're there to help out, throw a little muscle around, and help out when you can. A nice goal here or there is great, but you need the first 2 lines to step up, and nobody has stepped up on the first 2 lines yet.
Yeah, Montgomery, he laid into Marchand, evidently. We'll see. They got Toronto tonight. I would assume, maybe Korpisalo's in net tonight. I'm not sure. They got to switch things up, so we'll see what happens. They're at home tonight.
Toronto's a 500 team. If you can't get up for the Toronto original 6, then this game, hey, I know it's early, but they're 10% of the way through the year. So now you're starting to look, the sample size isn't as small. You 8 out of 80 through. I mean, let's go.
Yeah. So we're going to wrap it up today. Kevin is Again, he's at Burrillville High School. You can listen in at 11 o'clock this morning right here on WOON, 1240 AM, 98.5 FM, WoonSocketRadio.com. Kevin will be joined by, who are you joined by today? Lou
Mandeville, and we're broadcasting from the Mandeville Memorial Rock out in Burrillville. We'll be in the corner of the end zone. They named the rock after Lou, and he'll be here today and next Saturday with me as well. So I've never had a rock named after me, Pat. So Lou's a local celebrity, I guess.
There you go. Well, tune in here. Kevin, you do a great job. As we say, you are the voice of Rhode Island high school football, and we appreciate everything you do. Thank you to our sponsors, and we'll see you next weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Rob Martin.